It's always sad to see projects people are excited for be filled with tons of lies and turn out to be scams. We all want every single game releasing to be good. We want them to be amazing experiences, yet sometimes there is absolutely no way possible for them to go well. The odds are stacked against the game and the developers. And right now there's a massive scandal going on surrounding this Kickstarter game named Dreamworld. And I hadn't heard about it actually before all of these claims came out, but the claims here against the developers creating it are absolutely bonkers. I thought maybe there was one accusation against them, two at most. No, there is a list of things that they are being accused of right now. So the PCGamer.com article headline says this MMO that promised an infinite open world has become a giant fiasco. A broken alpha, inexperienced developers, and sloppy asset rips are just the start of the Dreamworld drama. Imagine an MMORPG that rolled every game genre into one incredible universe, a game for the ages that lets you craft, build, farm, fight, play, tame creatures, and do whatever you want. The wildly ambitious promise of the ultimate mixed genre MMO has been made before and was unsuccessful, may I add, but now we have a new contender that claims to be the last game that you'll ever play. Dreamworld, an infinite open world creative MMO that will, at some point, host millions of players in a single immersive world. I personally love MMOs. This sounds honestly like a gamer's dream. Infinite open world MMO, millions of players. I mean, if this game released, I think that it would have a big player base initially just because people would want to see if it could live up to the marketing, live up to the expectations that the developers are setting for this title. Unfortunately, as a gamer, though, it's very easy to see this type of game is basically impossible. You cannot promise that this is going to be the last game that anyone will ever play. It says you don't have to be a game developer to know that this isn't a game you can make today, even with a massive budget. I don't blame developers for being ambitious. I do not blame them for wanting to make an out-of-this-world game, a game that everyone is going to love and cherish and want to come back to, like a Minecraft. Everyone really likes Minecraft. There are some people out there who don't, but it provides so many different things to people. Crafting, fighting, you get to go to different worlds. I mean, the possibilities in Minecraft are, in a way, kind of endless. But it's like they walked into this wanting to make a game that people are going to constantly come back to. And it says, when you learn that Dreamworld's creators, Garrison Bellick and Zachary Kaplan, have never made a commercial game, it looks like pure fantasy. This is a huge red flag, not the first red flag out of many here. It says, yet this fantasy raised almost $65,000 on Kickstarter in March and has the backing of startup investor Y Combinator. We have a lot to discuss when it comes to Y Combinator. It says, as I looked further into this impossibly ambitious project, I found MMO streamers calling Dreamworld and its May 21st alpha release a fiasco and a scam, and that was just the beginning. The allegations against Dreamworld include teens recruited as mods and promised jobs, stolen or improperly credited assets, nepotism at Y Combinator, an easily hackable server with poor security, and an impossible to achieve development timeline and an allegedly faked diamond ring. These are huge accusations being made against these developers. This game has a big Ark Rust feel to it. You just kind of build and survive, you beat bosses, you get gear, there are different skins, and you can tell how rough this looks. I mean, it's not done or anything. This trailer isn't the finished version of the game, but when you're trying to ask people for money, as a consumer who's supposed to open my wallet for you, I'd expect a better roadmap and plans and ideas. It looks really rough, unfortunately. Maybe, like, the finished model of the characters or something would be good to show consumers. It just looks like a ton of stock assets thrown together, which is a complaint with this game, but it looks rough. That doesn't mean that the game would be bad, though. Nothing here looks like it's meant to be together, though. Look, you have unicorns and floating eggs and, like, candy cane houses and fireworks. It's just like a hodgepodge of random things. I truly don't see a direction here, which is a big problem. I think that a good game has to have some sort of direction to it. Anyway, heading back to the PC Gamer article, it says on Dreamworld's Discord server, Kaplan has said that his claim of 9 years of game development experience is in personal projects, Flash games, some work in Unity, nothing specified there, and documentation relating to Dreamworld. Kaplan is an entrepreneur and self-described marketer, and it says that Bellick, the engineer/coder of the pair, has Apple, Facebook, and Google listed on his resume. Kaplan is someone who I'd instantly be a little bit suspicious of. When people market themselves with 9 years of development, I'd expect to hear some company names or projects listed off, but Bellick, if these, of course, names are true, seems like a pretty legitimate engineer. I mean, he seems legit with all these different things, Apple, Facebook, and Google. But it says Dreamworld's Kickstarter campaign raised $64,000. There were over 600 people who believed in this project, who thought that this was going to go well, as it says $64,000 out of a goal of 10,000, which is also suspicious. You can't make an MMO. You can't really make many games off of just $10,000, but they have over 600 backers, 663 to be exact, that believed in this game, who thought that this game was legitimate, who wanted to have it release. Unfortunately for them, though, this situation has just continuously escalated. But it says the campaign promises, among other features, multiplayer with the population density of real cities and a fully dynamic environment with no fixed interaction points. This is a giant claim to make. I mean, also, they said that this is the last game that you'll ever play. This is the last game you're gonna want. These are huge claims coming from 2 developers. That's correct. If you go to their page, if you go to the Kickstarter page, it literally says that it is only the 2 of them working on this game. This is absolutely bonkers to think about. These are not small claims. These are big claims that they are making. These are high expectations that they are setting for themselves. It says 2 full-time devs, 1 part-time dev, 8 months of development. So it says Dreamworld's Kickstarter trailer has been dissected by plenty of people, but by Upton specifically in his first YouTube video. According to Kira, Dreamworld as shown in the trailer is a fucking Frankenstein of cut and paste code from other people's work. It's very easy to see that when you watch the trailers, you watch the videos. He says the game is a mishmash of Unreal Engine asset packs that have been assembled without any original coding, using the baseline Unreal Mannequin in basic default movement mode, and critics in Discord have observed that none of the assets appear to be appropriately credited. If you're just going to make a game that's a Frankenstein of cut and paste code from other people's work, at least credit them, at least give them that. It says this is supposed to be a technical demo of what they can do based on what they have done. But it says 90% of the assets that I found that they've used, which has been ones that I've listed, have been free in the last 8 months. Now, I wanted to scroll down to the part about Y Combinator. It says the concept of pitching a crowdfunding MMO isn't new, but it's also nearly impossible to achieve without millions of dollars. Dreamworld's developers did have more than $65,000 to work with. It's backed by the world's best-known startup accelerator, Y Combinator. Y Combinator has a rigorous vetting process topped off by an exclusive demo day with selected investors. You might have heard of, things that it's started before: Twitch, Dropbox, Coinbase, Airbnb, tech titans valued at billions of dollars. So according to Upton, a senior employee at Y Combinator claims that Bellick has a friend in the accelerator who helped greenlight Dreamworld without the appropriate due diligence. Originally, I thought that this was a bit of a joke. This person is actually higher up than just investing, though. Dreamworld wasn't vetted. They apparently had nothing to show on demo day, and they were still allowed through. I mean, this whole project could have been nothing more than something that these 2 guys cooked up, hoping to get money out of Y Combinator through their connections, and the $65,000 on Kickstarter was the icing on the cake, because we don't know how much money they got from Y Combinator. This is huge! This right here is going to make people think twice about supporting this game, supporting this project, and ever taking these developers seriously. I hope these developers realize the accusations being made against them and how much this is going to damage their reputation. So continuing on, it says on May 20th, Skyzos, a Dreamworld backer and YouTuber who posted an interview with the developers, was given early access to the alpha, and the alpha files were distributed via Google Drive. The YouTuber told this writer that he had been cautiously optimistic, but began leaning away from the game after seeing other creators take it apart. Things really changed after he played the alpha. I personally haven't played it at all. I am not a backer of this game. I have watched some of the gameplay though, and it looks rough. It says the only discernible difference between the pre-alpha and alpha, as the YouTuber observed in a live stream, is that the developers have added grass to the game. What a claim! Oh, we went from pre-alpha to alpha because we added grass. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to keep a straight face here. It says a flat white fog pervades the horizon, giving the impression of an infinite distance, but it becomes apparent that the objects behind the fog have already been pre-rendered. At a certain point, the map just ends. You can fall off of the edge. Flat world, guys. I always told you the earth is flat. Further examination of the game files show that the alpha still contains copyrighted music that Upton unearthed in a previous video. This is a huge situation. This is a hodgepodge of problems. Dreamworld's main city consists of buildings scattered around an expanse of dirt. With the exception of the Pantheon, the buildings have no colliders. You can run right through them. Enormous white cubes sit around the landscape as mysterious placeholders, and other players appear as nameless orbs with the default Unreal mannequin texture. There is no way to tell who it is or how they're armed if you fight them. In the PvP area, I would understand the building situation. Yeah, maybe there are some buildings not done. We are talking about an alpha. Maybe the name tags don't work all the time, but we are talking about 0 name tags, 0 colliders, buildings not being done, people skins not working. We are talking about, people being able to fall off of the map. These are so many problems smashed into this game. This is just such an unfortunate situation all around. Now, Kickstarters are very hit or miss. You're not guaranteed to get anything out of backing projects, and in this case, they literally just promised access to an alpha. You're not even promised a copy of the finished game when it's done, or there even being talk about it being a finished game. Unfortunately, some of the things on the platform are just scams, and you really have to be careful and vet things yourself before supporting them. Just like investing in the stock market, don't put anything into Kickstarter you aren't prepared to lose. And here are some more giant accusations. Basically, one of the developers trying to get people to feel bad for him so they support his game. It says, in the wake of all of this public criticism, Kaplan's ex-fiance posted a video challenging the narrative presented in Dreamworld's main Kickstarter video, which inexplicably mentions their breakup. Kaplan presents a sad origin story for the game, dealing with his struggle with unemployment and the loss of a promising job due to COVID. My fiance left me soon after, he says, a phrase that has become a relentless meme in the Dreamworld skeptics community. Apparently, the idea for this game came out of this sadness of losing all of that and everything falling apart. No! He was literally already multiple months into developing Dreamworld before I broke up with him. The fact that he's using our breakup to leverage his Kickstarter video in this way, it just feels like a straight up emotional manipulation. Emotional marketing. This is disgusting if this is true. We don't know it all, but we do know that obviously they broke up, and we do know that they have been working on this game for quite a while now. But it just kind of seems like the people behind this project are super ultra mega sketchy. It doesn't seem like they're reliable. Like, I would not want to put my money into a project if I saw these two people, if I actually looked into them for more than 5 minutes. These people seem extremely shady. And it says Evans closes out her video by vouching for Kaplan and Bellick's integrity. She says, I can guarantee that these boys are not trying to scam anyone. They truly believe that they are going to deliver on everything they have promised. However, whether they can deliver it or not, again, I can't speak to that. And then it also says that the PC Gamer writer says, I asked streamer Kira what the difference is, what's happening with Dreamworld, and what happened with Chronicles of Illyria. Another wildly ambitious ambitious Kickstarter MMO that raised $1.4 million, but eventually saw its studio collapse. That was a very unfortunate situation. A lot of people really were excited for Chronicles of Illyria. I personally was also looking into it. I had my eye on it for a while, but it did end up falling through. It says, I think we are used to the word scam as a term, and there's nuance to this, he says. I don't think that either game developers have the actual intention to not deliver. I just think they're living in a dream world themselves. It's sad to see this happen. Everyone loves to root for the underdogs, a developer team with only a few employees, big dreams, a massive project. I mean, that is a story people would love to buy into. But with all of these accusations against them, I doubt this game's going to go anywhere. If it was one allegation, then yeah, I think that people would instantly brush it off and not really care, say, oh, we're going to give them more chances. But I don't think people are just going to simply forget about all of these problems. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.